Hey Brian, you out there? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Bob. Hi, Amy. Hello, Ryan. Good. Just wrapping up over here at Sunieri.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Got 29 people logged in. We're going to wait a few more minutes. We have a few things we're going to be voting on, but not until a little bit later. So just give it like 2 or 3 more minutes.
How about that Monday night football game?
Oh my God, it was awesome. I'm a little tired today.
Me too.
Good thing for coffee.
Yes.
All right, let's see. We are at 40 people, so let's rock and roll. It's sunny out today, freezing, but at least it's sunny, right? So this is our last College Senate meeting for the 2020. And yay us, we made it. And, we'll be back in 2021, and hopefully it'll be significantly better. But I just want to congratulate everybody. I was filling in some updates for my students on Blackboard today, and we did it. 2 weeks. Got 2 weeks left, and for the most part, we were able to carry on through the entire semester as planned. Little hiccup, obviously, last week when we had to go remote because of our orange designation, but and SUNY requirements as well. But well done, everybody. We made it. We did it. So last Friday, I know there was a ton of things going on, but we had the day of sharing through, it was with the Senate and the Center for Professional Development. And I know many of you were there, but for some of you that were not there, I wanted to talk about some of the different highlights that that we discussed that day. So one thing, it was nice to be able to talk to everybody and to talk about all of our experiences as we are trying to navigate the semester as professionals, but also as supports for each other, supports for our students, supports for our family. And it was funny because last Friday was the Board of Trustees meeting of the whole, which I was supposed to be just like a quiet person in the background learning from the different things. And so I was all excited. I had my hoodie on and all my children in the background, and sat down with my cup of coffee. And then all of a sudden I turned into a panelist. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I had to quickly adjust and got up and ran and found a sweater and put some earrings on and, and get my kids out of the background. And I feel that, we've all kind of experienced that kind of thing at random times. And the fact that we've been able to, just pivot and adjust as things are getting thrown at us is, well done for everyone. And I think it's things like that was important that we were able to share. So I'm going to share with you a couple of the things. So when we were all introducing ourselves, I shared, let me see, several items. One is, I'll share with you guys. So I'm home remote with my 4 children, and this is our schedule. And I bring it up not because you're like, oh, Colleen Quinn's awesome. It's that this is what our students also have at home for the most part, and so they are working and trying to do students and trying to manage this craziness with children. And so, it's the end of the semester. Make sure, it's the holiday season. There's just 1,000 things happening. But I wanted to just, relate a little bit about what my experience is and try to remember that, that's what's happening with our students. So one resource there's two resources that we talked about also last Friday. So what a lot of people, it seemed to be a common theme, is that a lot of people are struggling and didn't know where to turn or how to find support for ourselves or our family members. And we've talked a little bit about EAP in the past, but I wanted to pull up the website, and I'll send this out again in my email on Thursday. I did send it out last month, but you can go through, and on this side here, there's different types of counseling. So, and there's calendars of events, there's helpful resources, webinars, just all of this great stuff that if you feel like you're struggling, you can just, click helpful resources and just kind of go through the list and see if there's something there that, speaks to you, right? There's all these different things, caregiver resources for parenting, or for those of us that might be taking care of parents or other family members, finances, which is another big thing right now. So just all of these things that are available, and it's a great website, and I have used several of the things on here just for, life and stress and all that. And if you're not sure, you can always just hit the button and fill in a request for different things that you feel like you need, assistance with, and then they'll reach out to you directly. So again, I just wanted to point that out for everyone. And, just know that if you are struggling, you are not alone. And there are so many of us in the college community that have been, looking for ways to help ourselves out. And so this website is awesome. Another thing is on social media. This is Facebook. This was started in March, coincidentally, in conjunction with when everything shut down for the coronavirus, but it is a higher ed learning collective is the name of the group. There's 33,000 members, and it's all individuals that work in higher education. You can see a little bit of the description there. There is a YouTube channel, but it's a great place for if you have a question, for discussions and different things like that. Even if you just have it on in the background of your social media and you see a post come up, it might be something that you may relate with, or that maybe it's something that you had questions on. Sometimes there's funny things that are like gifts and things like that, but it's very interesting. So one of the items that has come up a lot is, there we go. Oh, did I share any of that? Like, I don't think you could see my screen. Nope, I'm not sharing. Am I sharing?
No, we couldn't see it.
I shouted up to Erica. I'm like, am I sharing? Let me try that again. All right, so here is maybe. There we go. Now I'm sharing. And I'm making sure I'm not on mute. All right, so here's the Collective for Higher Education Learning. So one of the things that pops up a lot, and it's also something that we did talk about on Friday, is cameras. So I know that we've always been encouraging each other for these meetings to have cameras on, because it's nice. Well, it's nice to see everybody's lovely faces and to, look at people that I'm not related to for a change. But something that did come up was the requirement for students to have their cameras on for synchronous learning. So, and that is something that's been discussed pretty heavily on this website, or this, I should say, this page on social media. But one thing that I wanted to talk about, and I know it's late in the semester, but I know a lot of us will likely be remote also in the spring. And we'll talk about the spring schedule in a little bit as well. It's on the agenda because I know there's a lot of questions about it. But we can highly encourage, but we cannot require students to have their cameras on if we're synchronously learning. And I know that's a hot button conversation, but one thing I want to bring up is that, so like, for example, I'll just use me. I came down to Erica's front porch because I have 4 Yahoos running around my house. And I will position myself at different places in my house so that you can't see some of the chaos that's happening at my house. I'm very lucky that I'm able to do that. I've had students, and I don't require them to have cameras on, but they're sitting in their bathtubs because that's the only place they can have privacy, right? Or they're sitting in a bathroom, or, you know, you don't know what their homes look like. And I understand the need to want to look at our students and, you know, for attendance purposes. And then that's how we feel that we're sure that they are participating in our lectures and things like that. But just remember, we don't know what our students live with. We don't know if they live with in a domestic violence situation, right? We don't know if they have multiple families living in one home and that there's all sorts of things happening and that, you know, it might not be the best way for them to learn with the camera on. So I just want to bring that up and, you know, bring everyone's attention to it, because that's something that once we talked about it on Friday, I was like, oh my goodness, I never even thought of that. And that makes so much sense. And, you know, I'm going to change that for the future. So like I said, so with that, I wanted to make sure we talked about that, you know, EAP. And because I was poorly sharing, I'm going to just pull up that website again, hopefully. Maybe, let's see. Get out of there. There it is, EAP. So there is a form you can fill out. But also, there it is. You can just scroll through here and just look at all the different options that are available and just click whatever you need. Okay, and there's even more if you keep going down as you go through there. So it covers all sorts of different items. So, and there's also a phone number and the ability to request. So again, I just want to put that out there. And then, so back to the camera thing, I want to show you something that Erica Hendra taught me, and we also shared. So I think it would work well for us with these meetings, because I feel a lot of times maybe I'm just talking at the camera, and because we're not in person, there's not as much back and forth and open conversation. So it's kind of hard to gauge the room. So if you look at the bottom, where your mute button is, there's a reactions button, and you can give yourself a little emoji, right? So now that's something that Erica uses for her students, like if she just wants to take the temperature, like, hey, how's it going? You know, give me a thumbs up, or, you know, oh, hey guys, your essays are due next week. And if they're, you know, oh man, I don't want to do my essay yet, or, you know, oh no, I forgot about that, right? So that's one way that we can also increase participation with our students on WebEx, but also I want to try to throw that out there too for us, because that'll give us, so if you don't feel like talking, you can always do the emojis. So then let's see, and there's also a happy hour on Friday. I don't know if everyone is aware of that, but there is a happy hour. I'm going to try to share my screen again. I'm going to be the sharing screen queen today on Friday from, I don't want to say the time without verifying it, but it's from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Katrina Hill-Cheatham, our Dean of Students, set it up, and it's to help support our students. It's $20, and we'll be socializing, but we're going to learn how to make two fun drinks. So I'm doing it, Erica's doing it, and there are NA options available as well if cocktails aren't your thing. But I thought it was it might be a fun way to see each other in a not work session and learn something new, and it's $20 to help our students. So, and then I also just want to say thank you to Brian Millville. He who's our CWCC chair. He is going to be taking over for the open Senate seat for liberal arts for the rest of the academic year. So thank you, Brian, for becoming a voting member. Oh, I can give you claps with my little reaction thing here. they turned into mittens for me the other day. I can't figure out how to make them go back to snow things, but there's that. So thank you, Brian. And to Jackie's point earlier, go Bills. This 1999 was the last time we won a Monday Night Football game in Buffalo, right? And we are AFC East champs right now, first. And that's been, I think I was in high school the last time that happened. So, so with that, I'm going to turn it over to our interim president, Bill Reuter, for some more updates. So thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Colleen, and let me apologize ahead of time. I had some dental work before and my side of my mouth is still numb. So if I start drooling, please say like point or do an emoji that I'm drooling. So I will be brief. As far as enrollment, winter enrollment, as of this morning, we're at 38 FTEs for the winter semester, start date 12/28. Last year, same point in time, we're at 42 FTEs, and we have 2 more sections running right now than we had last semester. So appreciate everyone's help in moving forward with an aggressive schedule for the winter. Spring, not so good. We are down as of this morning 28.46% in FTEs and 26.4% in headcount year to year. Classes do not start until January 19th. Everything is down. Every division, every campus, every higher ed history, other than our online students. So we have a lot of work to get our enrollment back to a much more manageable area. Shifting a little into the financial area, and please stop me if you have any questions or put something in the chat box. Financial, we are still working to close 1920. Our fiscal year ended August 31st. We are on track right now to have a deficit of in between $10 and $11 million for 1920. Part of that is due to the 20% reduction in base aid for the fourth quarter. That impacted us about $1.5 million. But we had significant revenue shortfalls and we overspent our budget dramatically last year. For 2021, we are looking at a 20% reduction in base aid to the tune of about $5.7 million. And then right now we are anticipating a potential TAP reduction of 20%. And anything that's funded through the Higher Education Services Corporation, so that includes ELP, Excelsior, we are expecting a 20% cut on that, and that could be about $2.4 million. A couple of other financial related items. The student cares money, $3,997,000, that has been fully spent down, fully dispersed to students, which is good. We are still in the process of drawing down some of the money from the Institutional Cares Act, and that's a $4.3 million appropriation. As of yesterday, we've drawn down $1.5 million against that $4.3 million. Amy Yoder continues to report on a weekly basis to SUNY as far as FEMA eligible costs. We have about $1.9 million since the start of the pandemic. And then federal stimulus, I'm not a betting person. I have no idea what that may happen in that area. It's on again, off again. But I'm not counting on anything, any stimulus that does go to the local municipalities. Hopefully it can help the community colleges, but I just don't know. So we're not accounting for anything as we go forward. As far as staffing, we are going through the early retirements for the end of the fall semester. We will start taking a look at our staffing come January of 21. We should have I think an indication of what the state will be doing as far as the 1920 and 2021 budget and what the governor is proposing for 21-22. We continuously look at our staffing and we continuously work on trying to redeploy the staff as best as possible. Athletics, that has been a changing sort of issue for us. As of today, we are posting on our website that we will be offering intercollegiate sports in conjunction with NJCAA guidelines. We will be sort of a lone wolf, us, Niagara County Community College in Jamestown, We are not starting anything until February 1st. Again, a lot can change between now and then, but we will be posting on our website that we will be offering intercollegiate sports starting February 1st. Presidential search, the board approved a search firm to do the presidential search. They approved it at last month's board meeting. Because the expenditure is in excess of $50,000, it requires the Erie County Legislature to approve it and the Erie County Attorney to approve the contract. The document was filed with the Erie County Legislature and it was discussed last Thursday and sent to committee. So I suspect that sometime in December, the legislature will in fact approve the contract, and then the presidential search process and the contract with the search firm can start. Colleen mentioned earlier about the committee of the whole. I think you called it something different, not committee of the whole, Colleen, but it's called committee of the whole. And what it is intending to do, we have 6-7 different board committees, and many of those committees are attended by 1 and/or 2 board members, sometimes even less, and a lot of important business is conducted in those committees. So the committee of the whole is really all those committees meeting at one time, and all board members are invited and hopefully will attend the committee of the whole. And we will engage the board in dialogue on issues facing the institution. So we had pretty aggressive agenda. We had 3 presentations. Mina had a workday presentation, Tracy Archie, equity, diversity, and inclusion presentation, and then JMZ, the architectural firm the college had hired quite a while ago to complete a facility master plan, made a probably well over an hour presentation. And the intent of the presentation by JMZ was sort of give a recap of where the college is in the facility master planning process. I know there are several members of the Senate that were involved, but the college and the county had a meeting, I believe, in December, maybe December 19th. And James Z at the time presented some big picture ideas about the future of Erie Community College as far as its 3 campuses and how they should be structured. And that got a lot of people's attention, good and bad. Then I believe there's an internal committee made up of just college staff that met in January. And James was supposed to come back in March and present to the Board of Trustees sort of the facility master plan and the status. And that meeting never took place because of the pandemic. So I brought them back on board just to kind of give us a status check where we are. And I will be engaging the trustees in having a discussion on how we can restart the process, complete the facility master plan, and leave us with some recommendations for consideration of how SUNY Erie should be aligned academically and physical plan moving forward. In closing, I know Amy and Mark are going to give a COVID-19 update. I want to leave you with sort of 2 positives. One is we are doing pool testing, and as of yesterday to date, we have tested 3,779 students and staff. We've had 9 positive tests. So our test rate for the pool testing is 0.318%, not 3%, 0.318%. And then 7 weeks prior to November 16th, in total, we only had 47 students and staff and faculty participate in pool testing. In the last 3 weeks, we've had 660 faculty and staff members participate in pool testing. So I want to clap. Thank you, everybody, for participating, being so supportive on so many fronts, not just the pool testing, but helping our students be successful, helping keep our community safe. And I'll just close with, I am wishing each and every one a very safe, wonderful, healthy holiday season, and I truly feel very blessed to be back. And I truly thank each and every one of you for being part of the SUNY Erie family. Questions?
All right, awesome. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Colleen.
You did very good. No drooling at all. So you're all set.
Still numb.
That's the worst. All right. So Amy, Yoder, and Mark, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I don't think my partner in crime could be here today, so you just got to settle for me. Sorry. So thank you so much for allowing me the time to present today. As always, Colleen, I really appreciate it. This is such a great group to talk to get some information out, set things straight, and keep everybody on the same page. So I wanted to start off with pool testing and commending our staff, just as Bill did. We tested 280 of our staff this week. So that's pretty impressive. Excuse me, last week. So that's impressive in terms of getting everybody in, complying, doing something new, and kind of moving a whole crowd in a different direction. So I can't thank everyone enough. This is completely staffed by volunteers and our colleagues. So you all have been so supportive of responding to them when they reached out to you to schedule tests, to coming to the pool testing sites and participating. So we thank you so, so much. It really does take a campus to get this moving this semester. And we are, like Colleen said, so close to our goal. That was my goal. That's the assessment of this. Get through the semester, and we are almost there. We can see the end in sight, and then we start over for spring, but we're getting there. So I can't thank everybody enough. It's super important that I did it last time to acknowledge those volunteers. Having said that, I do need more help for the spring semester. So I will be working on a kind of a dossier of volunteer opportunities for staff to participate this spring. Those include pool testing, helping with scheduling of students and staff, being a case manager for students, but also for our checkpoints, which we have consolidated some of them now due to limited staff and students on campus, but we will be adding more checkpoints in the spring semester. So I will need help staffing those, as well as logistics. It seems like every other day I am calling poor Bill with bad news of something else that we now need to report or do. And it's a lot of paperwork, and sometimes it doesn't make complete sense, but we do the best we can with it. So we do need some help. So I will get something to you, Colleen, to share with everybody if you don't mind. Also, with the new spring guidance that we received from SUNY, which I just submitted a response to them this afternoon. One of the interesting parts, and I know I mentioned at the last College Senate, was that they put a lot of emphasis on students and support of remote instruction. And I know that we just had the day of sharing, which is so great. And I think it will very much complement some of the encouraging guidance that they give towards really providing transparency and positive interaction with students and faculty. So I had talked to Colleen, and I'd like to form a subcommittee to possibly meet in the next week to talk about what we can do to support this and support these new mandates. So if you are interested in joining the subcommittee, please let Colleen or the rest of the College Senate administration know so that they can get that information into me. But I would love your support and help with this. I think we can have some great dialogues and great discussions and really support our students in a positive way as they get through this. As Colleen showed, the schedules for remote learning, it is not exactly what they signed up for. And so as frustrated as we all are and fatigued by this whole thing, I keep in mind every single day when I wake up, somebody has it way worse than me. And I constantly think of our students and the chaos and uncertainty that they face. And we have a lot of students that are at risk academically, period. And then throw them in a remote environment where they don't know the technology, they don't know how to respond, they're uncomfortable being on camera, they're uncomfortable, having kind of the spotlight on them. We need to help them. So if you have the time, I'd be more than happy to have you on my team. So thank you. I just wanted to kind of touch on a couple things that I know have come up. So So the CDC released new information about quarantining. So one thing I want to stress to you is sometimes when things get released by government agencies, especially, we get a snippet of an entire report. So those CDC guidelines that were released talked about quarantine being reduced to 7 days. We take our guidance from the New York State Department of Health and the Erie County Department of Health. And if you read a little bit more into it, they were talking about travel, which I'll touch on in a second, not exposure. Exposure quarantining has not changed. So please keep that in mind. It is still 14 days. You can't take a test and get out of that 14 days. It is still 14 days. So I had a lot of questions and emails about that. So just remember, we take our marching orders from the Department of Health. On the flip side, if CDC, their exposure criteria is actually 15 minutes, where the Department of Health is 60 minutes. So CDC would actually have more people in quarantine if we followed those rules. So there's lots of things, a lot of working parts. So just so everyone's on the same page, 14 days for quarantine has not changed. New York State travel guidance. So I have to appeal to you. And as much as I can be annoying and bossy, I have a father who doesn't even listen to me, who lives in Florida, that just went to Las Vegas. I swear, I yelled at him a million times. If you travel, this is the New York State quarantine requirements, is that if you want to not adhere to the 14 days of quarantine, you need to take a test 3 days prior to your departure. So if you go to Florida, you got to take a test in Florida, receive a negative result, come home, quarantine at home for 3 days. On day 4, you can go receive another test. Now, that test, you might not get results for 3 to 4 days. Keep that in mind. So as long as you have the 3 days of quarantine and 2 negative tests, you can release yourself from quarantine. Sounds easy, but it's not. Rapid testing in the Tampa Bay International Airport is $150 a pop. Your insurance does not cover that because you don't have symptoms, right? That's a rapid testing private enterprise. So just keep that in mind. I want everybody to have a lovely holiday. I think we all deserve it this year. It's tough. I'm not into it. I haven't even touched a tree or cards or anything like that. And I know I need to get myself moving. I have my son's birthday next week. I'm just not feeling December. I get it. But use your head. Think with your head as we're approaching this holiday season. If you can just wait to not see people at face-to-face, or set up some cool Zoom meetings, or, my husband found online poker that he's playing with his friends that costs nothing, Cards Against Humanity, whatever it may be. But think with your head. I know we want to see each other, but it's not worth it. It's better to stay home right now. So as always, if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to ever reach out to myself or Mark by email. You can call my cell phone, 525-4500. We are here to answer any questions that you have. So like I always say, keep your distance, wear your mask, wash your hands. Thank you, Doug, and go Bills. I'm so excited for last night. That was an awesome, awesome game. Thanks,
Wow.
Colleen.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. And the timing with Amy's report today was perfect because, with the holidays and everybody debating going somewhere, my phone was blowing up too, going, did you see this? No traveling, 7 days and all this. I'm like, yep, I saw it, and just like our very small and boring Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing the same thing for Christmas this year. And it's bizarre because my mother's birthday is Christmas Eve, and then we have Christmas, and then my mother-in-law's birthday is the day after Christmas. So we usually have this whole hoopla of nonstop events, and it's all going to be via Zoom this year. So, but again, thank you, Amy, and for sharing that. It's timely with it being December and almost complete with the semester. So with that, oh wait. Not sharing. Hang on a second. If you'll remember, we had our SUNY ILOs were brought to us in October, and then we discussed them again briefly in November. So we are going to be, so they're up to possibly be voted on. So Erickson, did you want to introduce this?
Able to present these to the Senate with a few months of opportunity for comments. I had some really great comments from the Senate members as well as the community abroad. And those are in the documents that you see here. And again, I think this is a really nice testament of the shared governance process. And thank you, Colleen, and thank you through the Senate of having an opportunity to really get input from members of the institution.
All right, great. So I'm just gonna, let's see, here we go. Okay, so thank you, Erickson, and Kim, thank you, Kim. So it was hard to hear you. So just one of the things that, if you missed, Erickson said that it's been a nice process for shared governance with writing and developing these ILOs and having discussion and the format to have this back and forth, and then push these, not push these through, but have a shared governance experience with all these different ILOs, especially for our middle states accreditation. So with that, could I have a motion to accept these 3 ILOs?
So
Thank you,
moved.
Dave. All right, and thank you, Cooper, for the second. Is there any discussion on them? All right, so with that, I'm going to attempt to, there it is. Forgot where the voting was for a second. Like, oh no. I'm gonna mute myself while I get the poll up. So just bear with me for a second. Yeah, 4 against or abstain is what I'm putting on the. Perfect. All right, so the vote is up. I had a vocabulary, it just flew right out of my head, so I hit yell at Erica to come downstairs and help me with the votes. So go ahead and vote is open. If you aren't sure if you're a voting member, you can just shoot me a message in the chat. All right, and it looks like everybody has voted. So I'm going to.
Oh, this is Joel Rudowitz. I'm calling in, so I can't actually write in the poll. So I didn't know if you wanted my vote.
Sure. Thank you, Joel.
It would be yes.
Thank you. I will record that. Thank you. And yes, thank you, Brian. You are a voter now. Okay, so. All right, so it was approved, and I was having trouble trying to share it. So, sorry. Let's see. There we go. Full results. All right, so hopefully that's shared out to everybody. So that was overwhelmingly approved. So thank you very much to the General Education Committee for all of your hard work and for everybody that took the time to provide some feedback. I know many of you were helped with that, so thank you very much. Great. We have a lot in our old business today. So let's see what we got next. This wrong document. Okay, so we have another vote, and is Michael Rio available?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you, Michael. Would you want to talk about this proposed bylaw change for me, please?
Yes. Do you have a document to put on the screen, or should I share? I can try to
Let's see.
Well,
I should,
so yeah, Senate governance is making a motion for a bylaws change. This was introduced at the last Senate meeting. We are adding an article, or requesting or asking to add an article to include a faculty staff awards committee, moving this committee to the Senate and having that committee chaired by the FCCC delegate and vice chair will hopefully facilitate the process, include more of the college in awards designated in particular categories, and have that be a part of the Senate.
Great, thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
So with that, could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Cooper. And second?
I'll second. This is Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, is there any discussion on this? All right, I'm going to try and do another poll again. I'm going to mute myself so you can't hear me talking to myself trying to do it. So give me 1 second. Okay, so the poll is open. All right, looks like we're all set. I'm gonna close the poll. Oh, it's gonna give me 20 seconds. That's what it was. So it's gonna close in 20 seconds. And then we'll share out the results. And the motion passes. So this will be added to our College Senate bylaws. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and turn it over to Jackie Bossman. Unless Jackie, you would like me to, do you want me to pull up the slides or do you want to do it?
I wasn't going to pull up the slides necessarily.
Even better.
Yeah, if that's all right. There's quite a few. But yeah, okay. So, well, firstly, I do have to say that I'm pretty sure the Buffalo Bills are Super Bowl contenders at this point, and nobody's going to convince me otherwise. Yeah. And this is a very sad year. My dad and I have had have had season tickets for years. And, you know, they're looking to get a home playoff game, and I'm just, dying inside. But go Bills! Just had to put it out there one more time. Okay, so I'm the Erie's delegate for the FCCC, the Faculty Council of Community Colleges. It's a body of community college faculty that work in shared governance with SUNY. And in early October of this year, we had our fall plenary. It was all virtual. We have included in today's document meetings a PowerPoint presentation. Those are the slides that Colleen and I were just talking about. And what those slides do is they outline and review the details of the plenary meeting, including topics and the individuals we heard from. So I definitely want to encourage everyone to go through those slides. There's quite a few, which is why I decided not to just show the slides here on our WebEx meeting. But please, I definitely encourage you to go through. And if you have any questions or concerns about any of the topics from the plenary meeting, you can reach out to myself or Karen Huffman, who's our alternate delegate at Erie, and we can get in conversation with you about that. Some of the things we talked about, we talked about everything actually from SUNY Online to transfer pathway review, and of course, everything COVID-19. We did hear from the new Chancellor, Jim Malatras, and we heard quite a bit about his vision for SUNY community colleges, which is very interesting. I'm like trying to entice you to go to the slides. I'm like, you can read more about it in the slides. And we did also hear from Meryl Tisch, the SUNY board chair, and had conversation with her about the reasoning for appointing Malatras, also very interesting. So yeah, please go ahead and review those slides. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out. I will definitely be down to chat. Also, one other thing, I noticed about a week ago, an article came out just in like local news. I want to read over the title. And it said, let's see, Governor Cuomo launches free online platform for New Yorkers to learn new job skills, earn certificates, and advance their careers. So from what I understand, this is an endeavor that the governor is working on in partnership with Coursera, offering free online courses in workforce development. And I did reach out to the FCCC, our leadership today, actually. I just did that today. That's why I wanted to just quickly give you this. And she said that she is speaking with the SUNY Provost office and is working on this to determine where we fit. So if anyone has any further questions on that, I can keep you updated on what we hear from FCCC. All right. That's all I had.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, no problem.
And go Bills.
Go Bills.
And then the slides, of course, that Jackie's referring to are currently up on the Senate site. And I will also include them in the email that we send out on Thursday. Okay, so with winter intersession coming up and obviously spring enrollment, I had asked Phil Struble if he would mind jumping on and giving us some information about what we're doing for enrollment pushes and things like that for these. So Phil, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Colleen. Sorry I'm late. So if anything, I'm going to try and kind of go through some of the work and initiatives that's been going on in enrollment management with the support of all the faculty and academic offices across the college. So if I am repetitive in anything in the president's report, I was not here for that, so I apologize for my tardiness. First off, I guess the first order of business, our closest semester coming up is the winter intersession. Thanks to, with a lot of faculty help, we created a communication that went out to the student body last Monday. It was also shared by the president, asking faculty to share it with their current classes, really to kind of push the winter intersession. It listed the classes and whatnot. The good news from that, we've made some gains in our FTE for the winter intersession. We were within about 4 FTE of a year ago. We're still about 100. We still got to work on the head count in terms of getting about 100 more students to be even. But we want to kind of recognize some of our successes. So that is a gain. So I do appreciate all the faculty assistance with that piece. Spring advisement, this is where a majority of our efforts are going right now. The whole enrollment division is really geared towards advisement registration and enrollment. We have biweekly messaging going out to our current students, new students, pushing them to register. These are email messages, text messages, and personal phone calls from the counseling office. We are also at the same time we want to recognize there's a large bucket of students we can pull from our students who have stopped out, or what we refer to as our returning students. Athletics has been helping us out with that greatly, most specifically the football coach, reaching out to these there's a giant list of students that are hopefully eligible to return. He's been making a lot of phone calls, contacting students, and then triaging them to hopefully get a lot of their issues resolved. What we're finding is the students stopped out for a variety of reasons. So he's been working hand in hand with the admissions office to help triage those students. Additionally, we'll be working as we at the end of next week, the following, we'll be doing an email campaign and a postcard campaign to these students, encouraging them to come back with marketing's help. Also, when we're enrolling and recruiting, we're not just doing it for one term. So the admissions office is constantly working on multiple semesters. So we don't want to forget our fall start, which is typically our biggest start. The admissions counselors are focused right now on doing instant admits, adapting all of our services. They're doing them virtually, is continuing all that outreach to the high school population. So that's kind of an ongoing thing that will occur all the way through through the fall start. We've also begun planning for our spring open house. We're aiming for the week of April 19th. What I'd ask, a survey should have went out last week to everybody who participated in the last open house. I would ask that everybody, if you could, that's going to be open until I believe next Monday or Tuesday. If you could please provide us your feedback, your availability. We're trying to make these virtual events as impactful as we can, and we really can't do it without your feedback and support. So please submit that survey by next, I believe it's Tuesday. Our overall, from the marketing perspective, all along with enrollment, obviously, we're working on finalizing our marketing campaign and strategies. We've had a lot of meetings with the provost, and we've kind of selected a pathway moving forward on targets based on Doug and Bill's input. So far, we've booked our radio. We're negotiating our TV purchases right now. And then we've just signed an agreement to start working on new commercials, some new creative. So all that is underway. Some of our marketing will start pushing for the spring semester. That may be some old spots before we have new spots built, but we will have some new creative coming down the pipeline as well. Any questions from anybody? All right, I know I dropped a lot of information in a short period of time.
Phil, this is Cooper Lansing from Social Science. I've got 2 questions for you.
Sure.
One, for the winter intersession, we have a course that's full, and it's the only section we offer. Is there any way to expedite offering another section of it so there's a chance to get some more students?
I would defer you to your dean the provost on that one, Cooper. I'm sorry. I'm all for offering more courses. If you think you got students that want to enroll, the logistics behind that and whatnot, though, work directly with your dean and see if there's any availability of us offering it. But I'll be more than help out in any capacity I can.
Okay, the second question. With regard to the spring semester, this mini semester that we put in quickly during the fall term turned out to fill up pretty nicely.
Yep.
Is there some way we can stand up quickly a second session for the spring term, a mini semester?
I know there's talks for it for the fall. I'm not sure. I'd have to circle around with the academic deans again and the provost to really see if that's something we could offer. And from an enrollment perspective, yeah, we could probably get the classes in there in a fairly fast way. I think we worked through the logistics of that. So I'm sorry, Cooper, I may not be the right guy for these questions.
Thank you. Derek Bateman, I think I saw you had a hand up.
Yeah, just Cooper, the dean, as a result of Jason Steinitz's email, just approved that course. So we're going to have another winter intercession course.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Derek. All right. Does anyone have any other questions for Phil regarding enrollment for winter, spring, summer, fall? All right. So, and again, Phil mentioned the communication that went out from Interim President Reuter's office. What I did is I just copy pasted it and kicked it out directly via email to my online students, but I also posted it as an item in my Blackboard page. So I don't know if anyone knows so you can post files. If you posted an item, they don't have to click on it. It's just boom, it's right there. And I have it at the top of my entry point of my course. So it's the first thing that they see. Again, not saying you have to do what I do, but the item feature in Blackboard is very helpful for things like that if you want them to see something directly. So, I did that for spring enrollment and I just did it again for winter. And I had a couple students that ended up registering for winter because they didn't realize that their aid for spring covers the winter courses. And I think, that's something that was a big misunderstanding. Actually, I didn't even know that myself. So,
I got to thank Chris Polinsky on that. He did all that in that communications. He hashed that all out for me, did all that research. So yeah, that was helpful. That was it's one of those variables that you don't think, from an admissions perspective, an enrollment perspective, we're just like push, get them in. But you got to think of all the different variables for their student success. And obviously finance is the biggest.
No, absolutely. And that was something that I had actually discussed with a few of my students that I was advising for the spring. They weren't doing so hot in one of their current courses, and it's past withdraw. So they are registering for the same thing for the winter. Because, if you think of it, if they've made it this far, they have hopefully enough that taking an abbreviated section by them with one course, hopefully they'll have more success. So that's another thing that I've been trying to get out there for the winter intercession.
Mm-hmm. And we do have another. We have one more scheduled for winter right before the session starts too. So hopefully that'll garner some last minute enrollments as well. So, but all the help we can. You guys are in contact with our as I don't know if Bill showed the numbers earlier where we are with spring. We need as much assistance we can with our current student body as you can. If you can talk to them about re-registering, how in just continuing on in their studies. We know students are struggling. Some students are struggling in the remote format, but the enrollment division is really here to support them. If you have students, I hear from many faculty all the time, when students are getting bogged down with something, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. So, we don't want any student waiting on resolution. We've put an expectation out there in enrollment, there's only so many of us. But our goal, or the expectation we've set is, we're getting in touch with students when they're reaching out to us. And if we can't, if they're leaving a voicemail, sending in an email, we have our goal is to get back to them within 24 hours. So, as stuff comes up that you may be experiencing or students directly, please push them our way.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Phil.
Thank you, Colleen. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, as I think it was Amy Yoder had said at one of the other 10,000 meetings we're all at, we are a community, we're SUNY Erie, but we are a community college, and we have to work together as a community of educators to help get our students where they need to be for the spring and to help our own enrollment. So thank you for that.
Colleen, I had my hand raised. I was wondering if I could jump in with a quick question. This is Mike Rio.
Go for it. Yep.
Yeah. So the suggestion that you made about getting students into like a winter session course, if they're at risk of failing at this point and need to take that course in an abbreviated full term, winter term kind of thing. If units are identifying that need, is it too late to add to that schedule, Phil, to get courses onto the winter session?
Doug, is it feasible for us to do that? I mean, I know getting them into the system and stuff is not a big lift from the registrar's point. I don't know the other logistics about course creation and all the other stuff that would be on the academic side, though.
We would have to look at it. The course that came up through from the students and the faculty through the dean, and we discussed and approved some of the things that kind of encouraged us to say, yes, let's add that, is that the current course section is already full. And we have enough students who have expressed an interest in taking that course that would make another course go. Not just we have a few interests, but in fact, the number of students who have asked for it would be above our threshold. So not saying that that's the criteria, but we time is short. But if there was various pieces of compelling how to do that, we can certainly look at something like that. But for example, that course that we did say let's add had these various pieces of evidence that said, yeah, we would have enough to make it go already before we even said yes, let's do it. We had compelling evidence, full course, many students interested in taking it. But so if someone said, yes, I've got a cohort of, or, in our department, we know we've identified, these 15 students who have a need, that might compel adding a course. But time is short, that's for sure, especially if the students we identify aren't really enough, and we still need to have this course be attractive to other students who haven't seen it yet. So those are the kind of things that we're balancing.
Great, thank
Thanks,
you.
Doug.
Erickson, I think you had a question.
Phil, and I don't mean to inundate with more questions here, but I know Cooper had sent me a remarkable article in Washington Post and a few others across the country that talks about setting up Wi-Fi hotspots, for example, in the school parking lots, or having computer loan programs, other things to be able to help students to get access to technology or resources needed to complete the education requirements. Are there any things that either you or anyone else here, I guess, at the meeting here that can speak to those potential ideas?
I know we've been assisting students with at-home Wi-Fi hotspots. I think that's been managed through the deans of students. So I think we are assisting students with at-home type Wi-Fi. In terms of, we have some proposals out there for a device for every student type process. Oh, Mina's raising her hand if you want.
Yep, Mina.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen what you're talking about, Erickson. But I can tell you what we are working on. We are also working on this initiative called EduROM, where any SUNY student can come and use our Wi-Fi or our students can go. Like, for example, if our student can go to UB, they can continue to use that their credentials to access the network, or to Buff State. So all the SUNY schools, anyone who is enrolled in one SUNY school can go over and to other place and can continue to use. So that could be really useful once we finish that project for in the Boston area, because we do have UB and Buff State and some of the other schools, so that students can go whatever is closer to their place. We are also have done lots of planning to really support the remote environment, is what Phil just said. We have provided the hotspots. We have provided almost 200 laptops to the students to sign out for a whole semester, or for a week, so they can continue to participate in the instruction if their personal device is not working, or if they don't have. And in addition to that, we have also developed services for them to be able to get the support. For example, they can chat remotely, or they can call the tutors, who will kind of walk them through the process of setting up their laptops from home. Hope this helps.
Great. Thank you, Mina.
Thanks for the assist. Many of these questions are out of my scope, so I appreciate the help.
All right. Well, guess what, Mina? It's your turn anytime. Anyway, so congratulations to Mina. I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but Mina has accepted a position at Harvard University as the CIO at the Kennedy School, right? I'm going to double check my notes, and she'll be leaving us soon. And sorry to see you go, but what an amazing opportunity. And so she would like to give us a workday update. And I'll turn it over to you. Do you want me to pull up the slides for you?
Yeah, please. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone, again. And this is going to be my last meeting. My last day at work is next Tuesday. And I've wanted to go over, give you an overview of where we are with Workday. That's something that we have been working, next slide. We have been working on it for the past 3 years. This project was approved by the Ledge on July 31st of 2017. And then we started signing all the contracts and started working on it late fall of 2017. So we have been on it for past 3 years and really working very hard, and things are going as planned. And I'm going to go through this quickly so you have a snapshot of where we are and where we are going. And just to give you background, those who do not know, that we were using a Lucian colleague and currently are using that. That's 30 years old, and it's not unable to meet our students' need. It was becoming very expensive for college to maintain it. So we selected Workday after extensive search in 2017. Next, please, slide. So the key objectives for this, for Workday are to enhance students' services, and enhance the enrollment and retention is number one for one of the key objective for Workday. Other one is establish HR tools for staff development, for productivity above all, and accountability. Deliver action and reliable timely data, which is so important, because in the current world with a Lucian colleague, or data tell that some people call it, you can't get the reports just by going there easily. You have to go through the IT department or IRAP, mostly IRAP, to get those reports. So it will, to make it easier in the system for everyone to be able to get those and make decisions. And above all, automate the standard business processes to reduce redundancies. There was just too much paperwork, too much manual tasks that were getting done, and automating those ones to the extent possible is another key objective. And as you know, that leadership team is has pretty ambitious agenda to support students, and we are hoping this will help. Next slide, please. So quickly going over, while we were building this this system, these were some of the guiding principles that we used. Every time when we did that, we said student first. We have to keep student first. And that's what the student in this system is built. A design for the rule, not exception. And change was something that was very hard for some of the staff members and faculty. We went, if it is making it better, we will embrace change. So that was another guiding principle. We kept it quite transparent. We communicated with everyone as we went along in the past 3 years. And goal was to empower faculty and staff so they're able to do the things themselves instead of going to second and third person. And it was rapid deployment. We really fast-tracked this project, and that you will see in the next few slides. Next, please. So where are we now? Where we have completed project Workday Phase 1 that includes HR, payroll, business office function, financials. That was rolled out on September 4th, 2018. You all know that because we switched over for time cards from doing it on the cards over to doing it electronically. So phase 2, that includes academic foundation, student recruiting, student admission. That was rolled out last year, end of October. So every year we are rolling out the functions, and we work all year around. So next week, actually, December 14th, Workday is going live with curriculum management, financial aid 1. That financial aid 1 is for the incoming students. And that is super excited that's going live on Monday. So then what is left is phase 4 to 6. Where that includes student records, financial aid 2, which is for the current students, student financial and advising. That will be rolled out in the next 6 months. And final data conversion by fall of 2021. That's what is the plan for Workday project to be completed by end of 2021. We have completed bulk of the work for phase 4 to 6, and the configuration and the development work is done, and lots of testing that is happening. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is a visual look of the timeline for what I just talked about. In 2018, phase 1 had gone live. That's not included on this picture. That was HR, payroll, finance, and that it has been in production since then. And then academic foundation, admission and recruiting went live last year, as you can see over here. And onboarding and admission is expected to go live later. This chart is a little bit not as up to, it will go live in end of February. So phase 3, that's going live next week on Monday. That's on track. You can see that. And phase 4 includes student records. That means scheduling and registration, advising, and financial aid part 2. So that is the time. Phase 4 is going to go live in end of February. And that will be a very big go live, because that is the first time when students will be in the system. So far, we have had staff and some limited faculty in the system. And at that time, end of February, we will have lots of people on the system, because students will be registering and enrolling in Workday for the fall of 2021. And then in June, student financials will go live. That does all the bursar office activities. So final conversion is converting all the data that is in colleague, the transcript and the historical data from students. That's a really big deal, because the current data is not as clean as we would like to. So there is it's a heavy lift. So that conversion will happen by the end of 2021. So this is a kind of higher level picture of where we are. We have gone through 3/4 of the project or more of it because we are in. It's a 4-year project. It is on time, and we are completing 3 years. Next slide, please. Okay, so kind of give a little bit more, attach more meat to it. What does those means? Because I just kind of gave you very, very higher level picture of, so when we talk about HR payroll, what does those consist of? That's what you see the first column over here, is that the light blue or light green color, all those modules that are light green. Is that what you see, light green? I see it as light green. Okay, good, thank you. So those are in production. So all these light green columns that you see under the heading of HCM, finance, academic foundation, student recruiting, student admission, these are all live. They are being used currently by our community. And what you see is in the green under financial aid, ICERs, and packaging. Packaging is for the students. That is going live next week, but the financial aid team has decided not to turn on the functionality till March 2021, rightly so. So curriculum management, you can see terms and schedules, the whole course catalog will be in Workday starting next week. So all the light blue parts that are in there, like onboarding and disbursement, those will be going live in the next 6 months. So you see student record and advising, registration, cross-registration advising, student retention. Student retention, all the pieces that are in Workday will not be turned on because the college made decision that we will keep them in Starfish. So there are some of the pieces will be in Workday, but not all of them. Degree audit, degree works in the graduation. Those are the all of those light blue ones will be going live in February, by February. These ones in June will be student financials. So that kind of gives you a little bit more perspective of what do those mean. And another, that's okay. So, we are also tracking the project very closely, and the next slide had a lot more details. Are you pulling it in, or I can just talk through? Oh, okay, all right. So the next slide gave percentages of how much % of each of it is complete, because we are tracking quite a bit. And as I said, most of the configuration and detailed work has been completed for the project, and now we are doing testing and user acceptance testing, where many of you, I want to thank all of you, are involved and will get involved a lot more. So that's where we are. Lots of kudos and thank you to many of the community members. Specifically, I want to thank Doug Scheit for his leadership, and Fabio has been an academic architect, Phil, and the list goes on from ITS, all the project managers, so lots of thank yous, and I'm hoping that you will continue to support this project and will help to move it to the end of it. So, questions?
Awesome. Thank you, Mina. Sorry about that. I'm having, I don't know. We'll call
That's
it
okay.
what Mark Pachola calls fat fingers. I don't know what I did.
That's okay.
Does anyone have any questions for Mina with Workday?
I know I went very fast. I just wanted to kind of give you a broad picture, but I will be happy to answer your questions.
Check the chat, I think. I think we're good. Thank you so much, Mina, for the update and letting us know where we're going to be headed after you leave us, and have a great time at Harvard and Boston. It's a fun town. So thank you and congratulations on your new position.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Come and visit me in Boston.
All right. I won't bring the boys. Let's see. Okay,
There's
so
very good hiking. There's very good hiking there, Colleen. Bring the boys.
good. We were out hiking this morning. So we only have a couple things for the for new business because we are wrapping up the semester and 2020. But one of the things I have on here is I'm going to ask Fran Moyer to tell us about an initiative that's happening through the Student Access Center that, again, is something that we found out about at the Day of Learning. And it is so awesome. So as soon as I found out about it, I asked everyone to let us all know. So I'm going to turn it over to Fran and her team.
Hi, thanks, Colleen. I appreciate it. About 3 years ago, the UB social work program came to me and asked if we would take interns from their master's program in the Student Access Center. So Carl Stokes and I began to work together, I as their task supervisor and Carl as their field supervisor. Because we recognize that online learning environment demands innovative strategies and, marketing to build community among faculty and students and staff, we decided that we needed to really focus on some major points of connecting. So our goals are to improve retention, develop a stronger peer-to-peer connection among the students, and stabilize and manage the emotional well-being of our students via the SUNY initiatives, JED Campus, and a coordinated effort with the student access counselors and the occupational therapy program at North Campus. So the UB interns were charged this semester to begin that connecting process by meeting with SGA and coming up with some creative ideas to help them to connect more with students and to begin to work with the students. And I think that they're on. Do we have time for them to talk about the circles they're doing?
Yeah. This is important. And I put the link that they're going to tell you about in the chat. So,
right. So this is Katherine Blanchard and Sarah Finn.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us here. So Sarah and I have started, we're calling them the Sac Circles, the Student Access Center Circles. They are Wednesdays at 1 p.m. And Carl had started to help us get the circles started. We have one with his class, which is Wednesday at 11 a.m. And he offered it to his students as extra credit to get them involved to see what it was. And we just wanted to create the circles as a space where students could come, they could have that community that they're really lacking right now. And also the students that are really struggling academically to have that little incentive as extra credit to sign in. So last Wednesday was the first circle that we had for Carl's classes. We had 38 students attend. And we're doing it again this Wednesday for his classes. The students were excited. It was a lot of their first time even ever doing the WebEx meetings. So that was neat to get them all where they could see other people. And then they got to meet Carl, and it was nice for them to feel that community. And with us working with the Active Minds, it's more mental health awareness and suicide prevention. And so Sarah and I wanted to incorporate that into these groups where it's peer-to-peer and we can just try to create some sort of sense of community for ECC for the students. And we understand as faculty how this is so hard on you right now. This isn't what you're used to, and it's hard to reach out to your students. So we wanted to just offer this to you, this link. It's Wednesdays at 1 p.m., the SAC Circles. If you are interested to give this link to your students, up to you if you want to offer as extra credit for them attending, just to kind of get them in to meet us, meet each other, just create some sort of sense of community. Sarah and I are going to be interning at ECC Student Access Center for the whole school year. So we're going to be running these next semester as well. And we're hoping that it helps with retention. If the students actually see each other, they're getting on there. And even, we could talk with the faculty what you would want to do if you can pop into some meetings and let the students meet you and see your faces. We're just excited to be here and just wanted to share what we're doing with you.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much. And they popped into all of our sessions on Friday to tell us about it. And I know there's only a couple Wednesdays left, but you know,
Yeah, I
just
just
like
put in the chat, yeah, which Wednesdays are left. So it's tomorrow and one more Wednesday. So we're
all right,
really excited.
beautiful. Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
No, that's awesome because, you know, just like we really needed that sharing day on Friday as faculty members, you know, the students need this too, that it's not academic related, that they can talk and just, you know, talk about their experiences and all those things. Because we have, you know, kind of had a common theme here the last couple of months that, you know, with supporting each other, but how do we also support our students, so that this is another opportunity for that. So thank you, ladies, for joining us and for those services.
And Colleen, one more, can I say one more thing?
Sure can, Fran.
We called them circles and not groups or workshops because those words connotate to our students more work and more effort, and they wouldn't attend. So we wanted to kind of build curiosity and engage with them, encourage them to come to these circles. And I think once the word gets out, we'll see more and more students, especially with faculty help and assistance, getting these students connected. So thank you.
And if you wanted to offer it for extra credit, we can have them put their names in the chat or have some sort of way that we can let you know that they actually attended if you're interested.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The last thing we have on our agenda today is the academic calendar. I saved it for the end because I wasn't sure if it was gonna, you know, turn into a dumpster fire or anything like that. So we got it at the end there. So first, the calendar is up and up to date on the website. Thank you, Paula Sandy. I know she was doing that last week. And here we are with the spring. And I know there was lots of questions with what exactly is going to happen. So I have Doug on the call for, maybe you could tell us a little bit about what it's going to look like in the spring. Oh, he also put the calendar in the chat. Thank you. I don't know, Doug, you want to tell us what the spring is going to look like for everybody?
Yeah, you know, as you know, every day brings a new change. And sometimes it's coming at us from all directions. SUNY, working with our COVID task force chairs and so forth, has some guidance for spring. Some of the things that we were told was, for example, winter session must be entirely remote. And so winter session is entirely remote. Spring semester, you can, several changes that needed to be in place was no week-long breaks. So 2 changes that you'll see here is there's no February break and there's no April break. We do still have no classes on President's Day, no classes, that's February 15th, and no classes on Good Friday, which is April 2nd. Because of the change of those breaks, that triggered some effects on our last day, midterm grades due, last day to withdraw, and so those dates are there. With those 2 weeks back in teaching, you can see the end of the semester dates change. So you can see that the last day of the semester is Wednesday, May 5th. I'll tell you that the process of making changes to our academic calendar has been the usual working with FFECC, which is how we do things. And then after that, we go through the Board of Trustees, which happened at the last meeting. And we are currently still in conversation with SUNY, having submitted our plan for our face-to-face instruction. And we will find out if that's approved. Here's the thing, you may see out there in the world that SUNY has said there will not be face-to-face instruction before February 1st. The clearer thing is they comma, except for clinicals, internships, research, and applied learning. Well, we didn't allow any of our classes to have face-to-face instruction unless they were clinicals, internships, and applied learning. So all of our hybrid labs, as we've been calling them with face-to-face instruction, are face-to-face because they are applied learning. So we put in our schedule here saying that we're starting on January 19th, Tuesday after Martin Luther King Day, and it's a full start. All of our most of our classes are remote, and our hybrid labs, the ones that have a face-to-face component, would begin. That has been submitted, and I was on a call this morning about that, and we're waiting to hear if that's approved or if there's any changes to that. And we will roll with that as it comes out. But this is the calendar as it stands. Are there any questions? Okay, we will, if there are any changes, and I know it's very, very frustrating, as we've learned and relearned daily, communication. So if anything changes, we will do our best to communicate as soon as possible, as clearly, as widely as possible. But that's the way it stands now, okay? And if you do have questions, feel free to push those up through your dean, to me. Sometimes it's the COVID task force, but please do ask your question rather than have it remain unanswered or for misunderstandings to spread, because everything, with all the change, everything gets very confusing for folks. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I want to just point out in the chat there, thank you, Marianne Partee. Opening day remains as scheduled it's going to be virtual on January 13th, and CPD is planning the agenda. So if you want a session or anything along those lines, please reach out to Marianne ASAP. And then we're at 4 o'clock on the dot. Does anybody have anything else that they have any questions on anything? Michael Rio wants to know when the deadline for session proposals are for opening day. I'm going to go tomorrow. No. Is there a date, Marianne? She's muted. All right. So yesterday, there you go. Yesterday. So yeah, Michael and anyone else, if you have any ideas for opening day, get them in. If you're thinking about it right now, email her right now. So with that, I just want to wish everybody a warm, happy, healthy holiday season with whatever it is that you celebrate. It's fantastic to see everybody today, and job well done on this 2020 academic year that we are about to close. You guys are awesome. You're a fantastic team. I'm so excited and glad that I'm a part of your team. So happy holidays, everybody. Be safe, be healthy, relax, go for some walks, and we'll see you in the spring, and go Bills. Take care, everybody.
Have a good one.